Jah send it from heaven just to be with me. And I promise to love you endlessly. I will love you like a mother love a brand new baby. Ex a monk, I respect unto you daily. Treat you like a man is supposed to treat a lady. This is a fact, it is not a maybe. Annalie, Annalie, Annalie. Annalie, 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 Annalie. Annalie, Annalie, Annalie. I will keep you warm on the coldest nights. Keep you in my heart when you're out of my sight. We don't care if the King Kong we have to fight. Loving you is wrong, I don't wanna be right. Your mama and your daddy said it's a shame. It's a don't like this place. Long as I've got you by my side, I don't care what nobody say. My friends tell me it's no future in loving a married woman. If I can't see you when I want, I'll have to see you when I can. Annalie, Annalie, Annalie. Annalie, 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 Annalie. Annalie, Annalie, Annalie. Annalie, 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 Annalie. Sub-degree when the gal in it have no steam. Every day she come out nice and clean. Me walking around wide awake in a dream. All because of my African queen. My shoulder is strong if the leader want lean. I will never abuse you, never be mean. When you pass, man put on them high beam. But no different, we have extra magazine. Annalie, Annalie, Annalie. Annalie, 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 Annalie. Annalie, Annalie, Annalie. Annalie, 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 Annalie. Annalie, Annalie, Annalie. Tinkle, breaking news. Members say newsy news. Designed by the shit stem to keep your man fused and previews. Propaganda, fake news, distort your views. Have grown people to compromise their values. Know what? Breaking news, news breaking. The whole of Belize is talking. Breaking news, news breaking. Poor people just keep on suffering. Breaking news, news breaking. Mama, please stop crying. Breaking news, news breaking. Scratching my head, contemplating. I am very elated that they find Kelvin. Even though we don't get the full overstanding yet. What about the rest of people them missing? Families still in a mourning. Psychological desensitizing. So when the real hit the fan, it won't be alarming. Breaking news is distracting. They want me keep forgetting about McAfee and the shit eating. Mason, Pastor Lou beheading. All the gun smuggling. The delivery man, them killing. Passport duplicating. All the people under them keep on thieving. We need a solution for the gang banging. But no different. Breaking news, investigating. Breaking news, news breaking. The whole of Belize is talking. Breaking news, news breaking. Poor people just keep on suffering. Breaking news, news breaking. Mama, please stop crying. Breaking news, news breaking. Scratching my head, contemplating. For yard, we watch you no abuse no power. But the things say we suffer from amnesia. Oppression, they pan for them agenda. You could tell.
Greetings in the name of all that is good. Welcome once again to our Thursday evening broadcast. I am G. Michael Reed, your chairman pro temp, until I am kicked out, replaced, or until the producer decides to try something else. But to that time, I am considered the chairman, joined shortly by a couple of other troublemakers, where we share opinions and views on matters that are trending issues that are out there. Um, a number of things, of course, this week. Before I go there, I need to tell you we have no scapegoats, no sacred cows, no fear, no favor, no agendas of any kind, neither religious, political, or personal. But we take a full frontal look at the issues, everything that's out there without bias, without trying to blow anybody's horn or bring down anybody. If you don't like it, then we recommend that you mount an argument. Give us some comments. Give us a little heads up on why you think what we're talking about is not what should be spoken about. I see there goes Jeremy Spooner in the house. Greetings,
Yeah.
honorable MAGA person.
Yeah. How come we white boys are always on time on this radio show? Huh?
Why, I don't know how much I own the boat, but yeah, you're not the bad. I have to say,
Me and you, the two white guys on the show, and we on time.
You were trying to boost your crowd there, but yeah, I'm not having it. Gregory, good evening, sir. You are. I know you're not
the Caucasian representative.
But you are represent the whole Caucasian nation, and of course the entire the MAGA group.
All right, that's my role. Okay, good. All right.
Have you? I'm surprised you're not show up with a red cloak and a crown on your head or something. You see the depiction of Trump as Jesus. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, Trump brought Lazarus back to life. The man good.
Or was that Epstein? Greg, how are you, man? I haven't seen you in a couple of weeks. What's going on?
I know. Thank you very much. Sorry, I've been working even today. I'm not at home where I have good coverage and reception, but hopefully you can hear me and you can see me somewhat.
We can't see you. You're very dark. Yeah, you're back.
I know.
You know, have to start the racism thing now. The man know it's dark.
Not even dark. Black. Dark brown, black. Yes.
Yes.
But
I think.
Yeah, man. We hope Joe is gonna come in at some point in the broadcast. I know he's in Belize City, so a couple of things out there. But really, Jeremy, no comment on the man depicting himself as Jesus Christ and the fight with the Pope.
Well, the man does some stupid things sometimes. It doesn't offend me, but I know it offends other people. He got 55% of the Catholic vote, so I'm sure he's pissed off some of the Catholics with that. But that's Donald Trump, boy. You either you love him or you hate him, you know. It doesn't offend me because I find religion, even though it's a good cause, it instills values in people and so on with the 10 Commandments. I was laughing at Belize is a Catholic country, right? Christian. And one of the laws of the Christian faith is that you should not have sex before marriage. And yet you hear all these things about all these women taking contraception.
Well, I'm glad you're gone there because with that on an issue we have to discuss. Get some clarity on it. But you were saying, Gregory, you don't think Belize is a Christian country?
No, Belize is not a Christian country.
No.
We have our vast majority of people that associate with Christianity, but I don't see Belize as being a Christian country.
Well,
I think we're introduced as a Christian country.
The preamble to our constitution.
Yes.
The preamble to our constitution says that we recognize the Almighty, we recognize God, but it doesn't say. You see, it gets tough when you start to put in religion and Christianity, particularly as one of the guide for your country. I believe Belize in constitutionally is neutral. We recognize through our preamble that there's
the supremacy of God.
Yeah, the supremacy of God, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that because I do believe that there's a creator.
Yeah, well, it doesn't say anything about Jesus in there, of course. and many people conflate the two, but I don't think that they're one and the same. I really do not think you have to believe in Jesus to believe in God, though, which is what a lot
No,
of
you
people
don't.
try
Yeah.
to make it out to be.
Yeah.
Well,
I
AI says Belize is constitutionally a Christian country. The Constitution guarantees freedom of religion, and Christianity is the dominant
Mm,
religion in the
mm.
country, with Roman Catholicism being the largest denomination.
Yeah, that doesn't
I
yeah,
conflict.
always thought
yeah.
of Belize as a Christian country. I never thought of it as anything else.
Yeah.
Well, the Jesuits ruled for a long time, no, but in
Yeah.
our current state right now, I wouldn't say that it is that this a time not time like a before time. People are not into that anymore. But
No.
you were talking about the contraceptive issue, and yes, I'm wondering if we aren't approaching this from the wrong angle, because they're looking at whether, and I hear one lady say, "Oh, there's a hardship on people if they have to come away into the city for or get out for get prescription." I don't know. Are we promoting promiscuity? Are we suggesting that women ought to just uh, go that their bodies they could do what they want with it? Any thoughts on that? And if we are a Christian country, maybe we should be a bit more cautious about how we encourage
Well,
that.
I'll
No?
let Gregory go first. Go ahead, Gregory.
Okay, I will argue against that. We're a Christian country. I believe that Belize, like you said, the precepts of our preamble does talk about the reverence of the Almighty God, and
Who's
that's
God,
fine. I
though?
don't.
Who's God, Gregory? Who's God?
Well, that's the question, right? Some religions have thousands of God.
But I don't, no. I think there's one basic question, whether you believe or not believe. There's God or no God. But I don't think you can say that there which God and how many gods and all that.
No,
There,
no, no.
at
That
the
makes
end
a
of the day,
difference.
we're talking about the supremacy of God, which means there
Of
is one
yes.
force, can be used either good or evil. That's how I see that. But to suggest that, oh, it could either be one God or the next, and not one God and the next God, I think that absurd, ridiculous.
But that's not that we may think that from where we come, but some countries have hundreds of God or even thousands of gods. So that has to be put out there that actually exists to some degree. But on going back specifically to the issue of the pre in conception.
Yeah, if yeah, the medication,
Yes, yes, yes. Uh-huh.
well,
I do believe that we have that it is okay for government to say that they need to get prescriptions for those because it different people have different effects. And so I don't see a particular problem in doing that. It may, like they say, lead to some inconvenience at some point, but in general, I think it is looking out for the overall well-being and health. Now, what must happen, I believe, is that they do need to make sure that the resources and the facilities are available so that these women can, in fact, get the sort of guidance and counseling they need before they start taking a specific prescription. So that's my take on it.
all right.
And
Let me before I get Jeremy. Let me welcome Joe, who's in the house. Good evening, Joe. Joe,
Evening, gentlemen.
nice to see you, Jeremy. What do you think?
Well, like I brought up the topic, the irony of the contraception and a country that I believe is a Christian country, whether it's Protestant or Catholic. I was watching on Creme this afternoon, Love Nature, and it was about the lion. And the lion has an incredible job. He's the male, and he has his harem, and he has many females, and his job is just to produce children. If he believes that Joe Grind has entered into the group, he will kill those little cubs. And he's fed by the lionesses. And if a Joe Grind comes in the area, it is his job to kill or chase that other lion away. Because if that lion beats him up, he then kills the cubs of the land. So not only it shows how cruel nature is, that we're part of nature, but It's also the promiscuity of the lion, the animal kingdom, and also the job of the male, whether it's human or animal. Our job is to, is it called propagate, where you,
Procreate.
yeah,
Yeah.
where your job is to just, because only one woman can get pregnant for one man, but many women can get pregnant for one man at the same time. So is that our job?
Well, many men can impregate one woman at different times, but if no, but let's not confuse that
But
issue.
I would like to ask Joe, as he just stepped in, when I thought that in our constitution it recognizes the supremacy of God, does he recognize the supremacy of a Christian God, or is it just God in general, Joe? As you know, pretty much the Constitution of Belize. Which God is they referring to?
Well, my understanding of the supremacy of God in the Constitution is the one God that I think most of us accept. I don't know of any other God that they would be contemplating at the time, except the God that most of us come to accept.
Which is a Christian, Protestant, or a Catholic God? Yes.
But it's not Christian or
Mm,
Protestant,
correct.
and be
No,
Hindu.
no denomination on that.
Okay, no denomination.
Not a
Okay.
denominational God. It's a supreme, self-existent, infinite being.
If
Okay.
mankind would understand that we could all accept and be thankful to one source, because none of us brought anything here, none of us made ourselves. There's something here and we're so fine tuned. Where there's things that go wrong, but there's everything about creation that just it doesn't seem to me haphazard. You might get one animal with two heads or something like that. Every now and again, some kind of mishap. But at the end of the day, everything else, the sun rises in the morning, sets in the evening. We continue to rotate and revolve around the sun. It continues ad infinitum, and without any kind of deviation. No? So
Uh,
But where is this God? Where is he?
inside of each and every one, because I personally believe that God became man, and all men are gods, but no one man is God. That
So
is
Hitler
my.
was God too. So God was in Hitler.
Well, yeah, because you can be good or bad, and he was just
Okay.
and he just used his powers to be bad. But
Yeah.
everybody can do that. Trump right now, would you call him God or the devil?
I wouldn't call him God at all.
All right, but he certainly
He's just a
thinks
man.
he.
He's an immortal man.
All right, an immortal or mortal?
Mortal.
Immortal. Sorry, immortal means that he can die, right? Immortal.
Mortal.
No,
That's
no, mortal means he can die.
immortal.
Immortal
That's what I
means
meant. Immortal. Yeah.
yeah.
You confused me when you said immortal.
Chairman, I thought you were on to a discussion that is very important because I have been listening to the morning shows and I get the belief that they are missing the point. And I'm not trying to now single out anyone for missing it. One, the issue is not about morality. The issue of talking about contraceptive needed prescription is not to be isolated. We have to ask ourselves, why is it that there are some drugs that needs to be prescribed and why they are over-the-counter drugs? That's what it's about. And if for the reason why some drugs need to be prescribed, it simply has to do with the issue of the safety of the person. So we have to know what are these drugs that needs to be prescribed to protect the citizen. And if you happen to have contraceptive among them for the reason that you cannot generalize it, which make over-the-counter drugs such that they don't have to prescribe. But I don't know. I hear one of the morning show guests talk about how they are not talking about the morality of it. But the issue is not about morality. The issue is not pro-life or pro-choice. The issue is what are the drugs that should be prescribed. What the government is doing is that they are beginning now to enforce what was there already. There is a list of drugs that are already being designated for many years. And we did it in cooperation with the World Health Organization.
Well, are you saying that these contraceptives just fall in under that
Yes,
banner, and
yes.
that there's no targeting that specific type
No,
of drug?
No, that's why I'm saying it is being taken out of context. It has nothing to do with the morality of it. It's not the morality of pro-choice and no.
We weren't saying that. We weren't saying that. We
No,
weren't
I am
saying
saying
that.
just now when you alluded and you came up with the issue of God and morality, I had a morning show host.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, as the other co-hosts,
Yeah.
how they are not hearing about the morality. The issue
Okay.
is not about the morality, it's about what are the drugs that should be prescribed and what are the drugs that are OTC drugs. That's what it's about.
But
Let
you
Well,
me-
know,
apparently they prescribe drugs because women, when they reach a certain age, if you suffer from certain chronic diseases, if it's not monitored, it can be an endangerment to your health, and that's one of the things I
No,
read about it.
no. Mr. Spooner has nothing to do with that. That's what I'm
No,
trying.
that's what I'm saying about
no,
that was
but
one of the
one
reasons for the
person did,
prescription.
one of the doctors did suggest that
Yeah.
they have been seeing a rise in a different specific types of diseases and they can't explain it. And a lot of it is amongst these women who fall in that age group where they're taking these contraceptives.
Yeah, but the point I'm trying to drive home that we have to ask ourselves, why is it that the world has come to accept that there must be drugs that must be prescribed? This is not Belizean. This is under the World Health Organization.
Well, they have certain class of drugs. Drugs are medication is into different class, and some are classed so that they require the prescription. But
Some are
what I would really
prescriptions,
like
some are
to,
over the counter.
so, yeah, what,
Question
yeah,
I'm asking,
yeah.
you need to understand first, why is it that in the health system we have drugs that need to be prescribed and we have drugs that are OTC drugs over the counter?
Yeah,
But,
and
but that's a no-brainer, Joe. That's a no-brainer.
I
They have
don't
to be
know.
supervised.
no, that's what I'm saying. There are different class of drugs, and
Yeah.
Comparison. It's not about the different class of drugs.
the different class requires the prescription.
Please allow me to differ with you strongly. And I'm doing it
Okay,
very
sir.
strongly because I'm
Thank
very
you.
knowledgeable of it. The whole world
Uh-huh.
have drugs that need to be prescribed.
Okay.
And we do it through the World Health Organization.
I'm not arguing that. I
And
agree
why
with
does that
you.
have to be prescribed, Joe? Why
Why
does that have to be prescribed?
I'm not arguing with you. What I'm saying,
Yeah.
the drugs that need to be prescribed are drugs that are not related to any common issues. They are specific to particular issues. So even with contraceptive, as what we call a prophylactic, you must know exactly what kind of prophylactic that particular person must have. So if you happen to put prophylactic under it, or you happen to put antibiotics, if you happen to put medication for diabetes, it is because you do not have it like Vicks and like Advil and Fensic. They are not. They are drugs that need to be prescribed by a doctor because you need to know the strength of the drug. You need to know the
We understand that. We're not disputing that.
Yeah, that is understood, Joe. Really, I think.
If you
I
allow
think
me to,
but you're explaining something that doesn't require explanation because all three of us have conceded that
Therefore,
there are different types of drugs that require prescriptions.
we have conceded, right?
Right.
What are we talking about now? Is it only the contraceptive we're talking about?
No, all kinds of other drugs.
What I would like to find out, the focus is on the focus right now is on the contraceptive.
Correct.
But what I would like to understand first is why did government make this approach at this time? Why are they introducing it? What influence and what concerns?
Then that I can answer you too. And I'm answering you. If I do not, I'm trusting in me. You know, I have been on this show. I will not tell you something unless I'm sure of it.
Okay.
What has happened is that we have relaxed the prescription drug. We have relaxed the need. And what is happening? If you go right now, and I can tell any one of you throughout this city, you should never have a drugstore operating without a licensed pharmacist. Never.
Well, we agree with that.
Right. No, what has happened? The system was so relaxed. I have gone to drugstore right in this community and they do not have a pharmacist there. You should never have a drugstore operating without a pharmacist. That's one. Two, The drugs that are prescribed, they have relented over the years to the point that the drugstores are selling them without prescriptions.
Yeah.
They have been happening. And what has been happening, I know of cases where they have gone and they have gotten drugs, which are in fact drugs that are can be intoxicated because they are painkillers. They are strong painkillers. You cannot sell painkillers over the counter, but people get it and they use it to get a high because they had relaxed the system. No, what the government has decided to, because of the complaints that were coming up, they need to tighten back and go back to the legal requirements of the law. That's all the government is doing. And
Joe, is this another case where maybe consultation would have been in order? And,
no,
and it should have been brought to the public and some of this explained to them in a way that they could understand?
No,
you're now explaining that we've gone away from prescriptions and that many of the drugs that should be prescribed is being made available over the counter. You're also saying that there are some stores that don't have pharmacists, which I agree with you. They should, if they dispense drugs, they need to have somebody that knows something about these drugs. And that is understood. Should the government had said before, just do this.
All right, Mr. Chairman,
just do it.
Sorry. If you allow me now to answer that question, I could come to that next. The first issue, it is a fact that we have relented, as we have done with many laws. We were not enforcing the law. That's what happened. It fell down. And then there was complaints begin to come in. The minister himself had gone and made it clear that, yes, we need to now reinforce these laws. And that's what they are doing. Now, as to how they're going to do it, if you believe they should have gone on a campaign, if you believe they should have gone on public televisions and tell the people, listen, we have been relenting on these laws for too long. They are posing a danger to citizens of this country. And therefore, now we need to go back to the laws. It's no new laws, you know. These are no new laws. It's the same laws.
Understand that.
Right. So to me, the only thing we need to understand is that they are now going to reinforce it. Like some other laws that they were relenting on. You can piss on the street anywhere.
Yeah.
That's illegal. You can make noise in the city. You can have these motorcycles without mufflers. That is a violation of the nuisance law.
I wish they would address that one.
That's what I'm telling you, mister. The overall issue is what, one, we have been failing to apply with laws.
So are they now making an effort to tighten up on this? Is that what you're saying?
That's right.
But not only with drugs, but across the board. Is that what you're saying?
I am not saying they are going out now to tighten up on laws across the board. We were discussing only the issue of drugs. And
no, but you're the one that introduced the other stuff that you said, pissing on the street, etc.
Yes, but I introduced it in the context that when we do not enforce a law, we effectively nullify it.
All right, so that's why, and I'm saying to you in context, does that mean they're gonna be addressing all these other laws like the noise, the mufflers and whatnot, or is it only confined to contraceptives? The drugs.
No, it's not confined to contraceptive. That's what I'm saying. And it's not it is this issue that we are talking about.
If that's not what you're saying, or is that what you're saying, Joe, then you're agreeing with me.
Mr. Chairman, I am saying to you that we are dealing with the issue of drugs right now.
Right.
That have relented on the law that was there to deal with drugs that are prescribed and drugs that are over the counter.
And putting it in context,
yeah.
Putting it in context, you're saying that there are a lot of other laws that we have been laxed upon, like the pissing in the street and the noise and mufflers and the motorcycles. Are you saying there's now a concerted move towards addressing all of these? Or is it? No, man, just answer someone yes or no, sir.
No, I'm not.
All right. No. But let me ask the question first. Is it only going to be confined to these drugs now? Or are we going to be trying to see how we can address these other laws that have not been?
Mr. Chairman, let me answer the question simple. I am not here to tell you that the government has decided that then they have to tighten up on all the laws that they have not been enforcing. That's not what I understand from no.
Yeah, but you introduced it, Joe.
No, I did not introduce it. No, I did not introduce it in the
Did you not say that there are laws like pissing on the street and loud mufflers that we have not addressed?
To you, Mr. Chairman, please let me put it in context again for you.
Right.
I am saying to you that unfortunately for us in this country,
right,
there are too many laws that are not being enforced.
Correct.
It is one law.
Right.
That they decided because of the complaints they were getting that they need to enforce the law regarding prescribed drugs and OTC drugs.
All right. So for now, it's confined to just that.
Yes, and we're done.
All right. That's what we've been saying. Now, allow me though to give my view on this, because I think we're looking at it from a wrong angle. First of all, there needs to be education in the schools. These young girls need to understand that they need to take their time and wait till they get the time. I really believe that the time for abortion is before you have sex. When you realize that you're going to have sex, if you get pregnant, I think that life already exists and nobody has a right to end any life. I believe that as a country also, where we can use more population, I think the government should have in place something to help these women that have these children, but don't encourage them to get rid of it or to take these drugs that might be harmful to them anyway. How about us building indeed the nation? And I go way back to when Mr. Price made come with a slogan, building a nation. We need to build our nation. We talk about the many immigrants that come in and whatnot and take the jobs and whatnot. We need to produce ourselves, reproduce our people. Don't you think?
Can I ask you something? Can I ask the panel? Can I ask the panel something? It came to my mind just now. When was this thought about? When it was this bright in somebody's mind? We got to control prescription drugs and drugs over the counter. Is it the pharmacists who brought this complaint, which I didn't think they would because they make money either way? Or is it the doctors who have to give the prescription? Now they're losing money because they no longer, do they charge for prescriptions?
Of course.
So maybe it's the doctor's complaint. And
Joe can answer that though, I think.
No, I wouldn't even attempt to answer it. It doesn't matter to me where it was initiated, in the sense that whether it was doctors, nurses, whether it was...
Are people themselves who are taking the pills?
I believe that it was a good thing to have been done to make sure that we go back to ensure that when it comes to drugs, the prescribed drugs under the standards must be continued to be and brought back to be prescribed drugs and OTC drugs. Yeah. Now, if you want to take out now contraceptive and discuss it now in the context of the morality, the pro-choice, the pro-life, the issue of procreation, the issue of population, that would be another topic that I am willing to engage in. But then I need to know to shift the topic to that now.
Yeah. Well, I think that has been decided long time ago with when contraceptives became legal. So I don't think that's anymore an issue. I think what happened that is an inconvenience. I don't know why contraceptive. Maybe it's a very popular drug and people love to procreate, and now it's an inconvenience. They just can't go, to the every week to the pharmacist and say, boy, give me those pills, please, or not. Now they have to get a prescription. And for what I've seen from doctors on Facebook, is that you have to monitor. Talking about contraceptives, you have to monitor the dosage and the chronic conditions of the patient who are taking these drugs also, because there is an endangerment that if you take these drugs without a prescription. So I saw that on Facebook.
That is the point that I need to be talked about. I can't. Let me speak on that quickly. I agree with you fully. We were of the belief that once you are dealing with a prophylactic, a contraceptive, if you want to call it contraceptive, which is different, a contraceptive can be a condom. Is that correct? Because it's preventive. No, you can also use rhythm.
Look that up, Spooner. Look up the word for me.
Which word?
Contraceptive. I don't know if contraceptive can be
Well, Well, tell me
Condom.
what
Well,
is
check
correct.
that one.
What is, we agree. What is contraceptive? What is
Well,
it?
Well,
we're
it's a
following
method.
right now.
It is a method. Condoms and such are considered a form of birth control and stuff.
It
I don't
is.
know if it.
That's what it
It
is.
says a contraceptive is any medicine, device, or method used to prevent pregnancy,
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right.
also
You're
known
right.
as birth control.
You're
Correct.
right. You're right.
I
Okay.
call it prophylactic. Just
Okay.
like have therapeutic, you have prophylactic. No, we agree that contraceptive is to prevent.
Right.
I am saying to you, you have medication that can be used to prevent.
Right.
You have mechanism like condom to
Right.
prevent. You have rhythm, which is accepted by the Roman Catholics to prevent.
Well,
How
hold on,
lucky are
hold
they?
on. Rhythm. Did you say rhythm, Joe?
Mr. Spoon, what is it that you are laughing about? Tell me.
Did
I'm
you say
the
rhythm,
one
Joe?
Rhythm.
I am telling you, Mr. Spooner, that the Roman Catholics
Uh-huh.
support rhythm, and the
Yes,
reason
that's
why
that's the only method they support,
That's
Mr.
right.
Curry.
that's a fact.
That's the only method they come and
I
tell
agree. You
How-
know what is
So,
rhythm?
so they
You know
support
what is rhythm?
sex before marriage, no abstination.
No. It's not that.
No,
Rhythm.
the rhythm is
It's the motion
during the
that you go
cycle,
through
during
in
the cycle.
doing it, isn't it?
Like I
It's the
you
explained,
know,
cycle. It's-
a
So
myriad
rhythm
words,
is
but
knowing
I
the
don't need to
cycle.
explain it.
The
I can't
cycle.
explain it. Exactly. There is a part of the cycle for females
Uh-huh.
where they are infertile. They cannot conceive.
Yes.
Which are the best time to have sex then?
No. They know. Science have proven that. They know exactly what is the time.
So it's the best time to have sex.
That and you
There's
can't
also the withdrawal system too, but that doesn't work.
Hardly ever tell it, not for me.
You know what is important?
Uh,
That's why we don't know what a contraceptive. Let me tell you.
well, we know now. You
Yes.
just explained it.
Right. No, you talk about withdrawal.
Uh-huh.
Withdrawal is a form. It is.
Why?
Yes.
But I don't know.
It's a poor form.
Correct. It don't work.
It has a flaw-
Yeah,
it
no
has a
work.
lot of flaws.
You know
You
why it's
can't
poor.
stop that once that's not coming.
You know why it's poor. No, you know when you withdraw, why it's poor.
Why? Because you got pre-ejaculation.
Yes.
You got something come out before you feel it. So, and there's always the danger that coming out something. But
the danger in it. How you affect you adversely? Withdrawal. How does
You
it?
get
what
pregnant.
do you mean? But you know, are you kidding me?
What's the point of having
You
sex
don't know
without an
that?
orgasm?
You don't know that. You know how painful that is.
I'm asking you.
You ever hear about blue?
balls? Yeah,
You ever hear about blue balls? Yeah.
I am asking you what is the scientific explanation given how withdrawal affects a man.
Greg, you're having too much fun with this one, Greg.
Yeah, man, I think to detect this thing.
We're taking it lightly, and we have to, Joe. We have to take. I don't see a problem with that. You don't want to take this too serious.
Yeah, but I don't
You have
want
to-
to take it. If you want comic and humor, then tell me. Then I want to sit back.
No, Mr. Cowie, we do agree that all those have been practiced, but there are lots of flaw in them, whether it's the cycle or whether it's withdrawal. Those have
Even the medication, does not always work.
Yeah.
Chairman, can I come back in again? Let us talk about the different measures. Then, if you want to comment on the merits of them, that's a way how we could.
Let me say something before you go there. And I think that when
wrong and all kind of way.
you take this thing too serious, man.
Yeah.
When it comes to issues
Take
like
take your pressure pills and relax, leave it. So breathe.
your pressure pills, are you relax?
Breathe.
You better
Breathe.
pills to take too.
Breathe slowly. Not give me no pills for take.
Take only whiskey.
I'm saying I want to. You could call that drugs if you want, but that listen. When you think about taking drugs to stop pregnancy, that a serious thing, And yes, I agree with you that a strong drug you would take to you basically change the whole human cycle, if you will.
The whole hormonal balance of
Everything, and that I think, and for that I could see why you would need a prescription, and a doctor should be checking you up first to see if you're able to handle these hard drugs, and that is hard drug. So I'm with you on that. I hear you.
I want to bring in something because Mr. Cowie said it doesn't matter to him who caused the introduction of this bill, and I think it does because we want to see.
No.
Let me finish.
I didn't say the introduction of the bill. I say it doesn't matter to me who initiated the move to enforce the law as it should be. That's what I said.
Well, it's a bill they're proposing, right? They're putting a new bill forward to create this enforcement. It's not. They're not reacting on a.
They're putting a new bill.
That's what I understand.
Where did you get that?
Aren't they? That's what I understand.
There's no need for no new bill. It's just enforce the existing law.
Joseph, you're tested tonight, Joseph.
No, because I think it is important that if I say something and I may be heard, and there is an engineer who can say, no, Joe, I think you're wrong on that one. I want to listen to him.
I think that's wrong. You're not talking about that type of engineering. The engineering when we talk about that, we not got nothing to do with that, Joe. We are.
But I think I want to get back to it. I believe that I believe like most of you guys that it is important to get tested and then get a prescription. I don't have a problem with that. What I have concern with is that they will make this available and provide the resources so that the woman can in fact get the care they need. So it means that the clinics will have to do it. They will have to issue the prescription for the contraceptive so that it extends, that not every month when you need to get new contraceptive, you need to go back and get a new prescription from the doctor. That you could just then go to the pharmacy and have them call your doctor and release that so they don't have to pay for a doctor visit and get down there every single time they need to refill a prescription, because that would be a burden and it would be costly.
But that's one of the complaints that they have.
Mr. Morrison, let me enlighten you on that again. Please, I want to sound arrogant tonight, but forgive me.
Okay.
You have all of these institutions under the NHI. Where you can go to. You have the BFCLA, where they're very strong in it. Every one of these clinics will come under the NHI, you can go to.
But and Mr. Cowie, the point is that many of these women have to travel and get to these points. They need to pay to see a doctor. They need to take time out of their schedule. No, I'm saying to limit it to a point where you get a prescription once every 6 months, once a year.
Well, that's
that's what I'm saying to you. Your doctor gives you a prescription and he marks on it. Repeat it for, let's say, 6 refills. He can do that.
Then we agree. Then we are agreeing. Then we agree. I don't have anything.
Let me come in again. And if you allow me to. If anything I say, you can correct me, please do it, because I want to be enlightened. I am telling you about a health system that I spent 10 years in.
Can I ask you a question, Joe?
Go ahead.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that somebody's going to be making money off of this? Who's going to be footing the bill? And is it going to be costing the public any money?
Nothing is going to cost the public.
Nothing.
Why you say that?
Except it will benefit the public.
Why you say it won't cost the public anything? Most of these people don't have insurance. Mr. Cowie.
No, it's not about insurance, Mr. Just what I tell you, it's not the insurance. You are giving up the wrong information to the public.
No. You have to cover the cost of going to the doctor.
You are not covering a cost for going to a doctor to get a prescription. That's not what you're doing.
The prescription
the doctor will see you for free.
You do not go to a doctor to get a prescription.
They're going to bring a prescription to you.
Hold on, man. You go to a doctor to be diagnosed. The doctor diagnoses you, and the doctor is.
But Joe, you're splitting hairs, man. Yeah, you're splitting hairs.
No, I'm not splitting hair.
No, you are. You have to.
I'm splitting hair. I will argue my point. Go ahead,
Mr. Cowie. Mr. Cowie, let me just ask you this question: to get the prescription, will you need to see a doctor?
Mr. Morrison, if you want to repeat the prescription, listen to me good.
No, your first
prescription.
You are putting it, you do not go to a doctor for a prescription. You cannot tell the doctor, prescribe this for me. It's
yes,
the doctor.
I want contraceptive.
No, Mr. Morrison. That's
So
not the
why do
way.
you go to the doctor? Why do you
You go to the doctor because you have some symptoms, you are not feeling well.
We're not talking
Hold
about
on,
illness.
hold on,
We're
I finish.
talking about
Hold on, no, man. The doctor diagnose you. The doctor believes that these are the drugs that you will need to heal you. He gives you a prescription. He
We're
said,
not talking
okay,
about healing. I'm not talking about healing. I'm talking about a woman wanting prescription to control her family planning.
yes,
What
but
will she do?
then what you do, you go to like the BFLA, you go to any of the PCPs, you go there.
What is that? What BFLA and
Primary
CPP?
care provider, BFLA is very strong.
Are those doctors?
Yes, they can. They are the ones who even provide the contraceptives. They provide the drugs.
They're all over the country.
Yes, all the PCPs, every set, every district has
The concern that I heard from some women is that in some districts and areas, they do not have that type of care, and they have to travel very far in some of the villages. Is that true?
Right. What care? For what care? Which care are you referring to?
We're talking about contraceptives, aren't we?
Mr. Morrison, let me go back again. What they were doing before, the woman and the woman decide, and I know it of many cases, that they want to use a contraceptive to prevent having a child.
Yes.
They go to the drugstore.
Yes.
The drugstore said, all right, I will sell your contraceptive. And he said, right. And they go and they use it.
Yes.
What they are saying, it is posing a risk.
I agree. I agree with it.
That's how.
I agree with it, but I'm talking about the mechanism.
What they will not be able to do now is something that they shouldn't have been doing. It needs to be prescribed under the law. That's how they are saying.
I understand all that. And this is where I come in. This is where I'm saying that now the woman will have to go and get an examination by a physician. And the physician will then, they will say, I want some type of contraceptive. The physician will then determine, based on their body type and their conditions, what prescription of contraceptive is most appropriate for them. I guess you'll give them a recommendation, because some of it could be injection, some of it could be a pill, some of it could be different forms, right? So what I'm saying is that from that basis, why did they at this point decide to enforce this law? Is this based on some type of religious pressure that's coming? Or is it based on, let me finish, or is it based on some concerns that the government and the medical industry has been identifying that's affecting our young women of childbearing age that require contraceptive?
Mr. Morrison, forgive me for being this way towards you all. You are missing the point completely.
Oh my God.
Now, let me tell you why. You are putting it to me now as if though it was contraceptive that triggered it. It was not. Contraceptive will only have to be one of them that evidently will be affected by enforcing the need for a prescription.
I know they said they'll do medication for asthma. I know
it's right across the board. They are doing it. It just happened that those who single out contraceptive, and some choose to begin to speak on that.
Do you want to know why, Joe? I saw on Facebook posts by some women livers and women activists that this was something against women's rights to do what they want with their body. If they want to take contraceptives and get contraceptives over the counter, that was their right, that no man should tell them when they could get it and not get it. That was one of the concerns that I saw.
Yeah,
so maybe that's why it's at the forefront.
Yeah, that's whosoever said that is total nonsense. Let me tell you why though. Belize is not like the US. We don't have an issue with pro-choice and pro-life. We are not saying that you cannot take contraceptive. In the United States, it may be different. Abortion and these things are different. No, we are not saying you cannot take contraceptive. You can. No doctor will tell you whether you should take it or not. They cannot do that.
I don't want to know what I don't
know. That's what I'm telling you.
I don't want to know where that difference is, though. I don't want to know where that difference is.
The issue, Mr. Spooner, what you are doing, you are mixing up morality with health. It's a
I'm not
different.
messing up. I'm telling you what is out there, what is being
I am
said. You're
telling you
saying
that
that
what is
this,
out there
but,
is
but
not
Joe,
true.
Joe, you're saying that it seems that the big concern out there is over the contraceptive. I'm saying from observation that maybe why it's that way is because you have some very prominent females on Facebook that mention things about, that's interfering with the rights of women. And because now you can't get it over the counter, you have to go down doctor and get prescription. So
And
that's
we
what
do
I'm
have some of those people here, Joe. They're not like that. We're not like the US. We do
I
have
believe that you have
activists.
prominent women out there
Mhm.
who are objecting to go back to the prescribed drugs.
yes.
And are you saying it is only the contraceptive they don't want to be prescribed, but the others could be prescribed? They
Well,
can
no,
go.
they didn't make an opinion on that. They were just
That's
going
right.
on this contraceptive
That's
thing.
right, because when they move to strengthen and to reinforce the laws and prescribe drugs, contraceptive was caught
That's
in
one part of it. One part of it.
which part of it?
No, I'm saying contraceptive was one part of
That's one of
enforcing
many.
the
Right.
prescription. Yes,
And
that's what I'm
because
saying.
that one affected them, evidently they spoke out against that one. What
That's
about
the
the
one that touched the nerve. That's the
what
one that
about the
touched the
person
nerve.
what about the person with diabetes? What about the person with kidney disease? What
Yeah.
about the person with severe pain? Let me give you something that I know about, and I see it happen recently. You have some of them, they become drug addicts. They are alcoholic anonymous. They go to the programs. They stay in there 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. They come out and they believe they're all right. And they try. You know what they begin to do? Some of the drugstore, and I know of one of them, and I'll tell you a reporter, he was selling them a certain painkiller which has an addictive thing in it that when they take it, it keeps, affect them. They go whole out. The withdrawal symptoms to affect them, and they were taking them, which is illegal. They
But,
should
it's, but not bad. That's not a bad thing if they could control
No,
it.
it's bad because
those are the class of drugs I was talking about, where they had Schedule 1, Schedule 2, Schedule 3. Those are the drugs that they had for risk of abuse, right?
Let me just before we move on from this contraceptive thing, how young would these people be that can get that prescription? And because I heard somebody was saying that large percentage of the women getting pregnant are like from 13 to about 18. Some very young women are getting pregnant. Now, is there a problem with them going for a prescription and getting a prescription for these contraceptives? Or
I think once you go with an adult, if you're a minor, your parent, your dad, a guardian, the doctor should give you your prescription. That's how
you think so, Joe? You think so?
In Belize, a 16-year-old female can make a choice. You don't need the parents. And an 18-year-old male can make a choice. You don't need the parents. No, if you're under 16 and the parents said that, listen, you want to get sex, but you don't want to get pregnant, so we're going for contraceptive. You think that should be done? You think a doctor should prescribe that?
Yes.
Yes.
I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That brings into question some morality. But
I don't know if that's morality.
Yeah, because are we gonna be encouraging this promiscuity?
No, it's not encouraging.
It's
It's avoiding a greater catastrophe of an unwanted pregnancy for a minor.
A better way to avoid that is for the mother to counsel a child.
That's right.
Yes.
That's
That
it.
is good. And I'm not saying
You are telling me that your 13 years old child tell you that, Daddy, I want to have sex, but I don't want to get pregnant. Well, then let me take you to the doctor and get your prescription. The doctor should not give it to her.
Wow.
No, man, why you want to allow your child at 13?
It's not you allowing. It's not you allowing.
You just tell me that if the adult take her.
No,
The only adult will take her to the doctor that he parima.
But I'm not allowing her to have sex. I'm
Greg, you have that like silence being complicity, right?
No. This is being apparent.
Reality.
This is the reality of what could happen and what will happen. Count the number of teens that are pregnant in Belize? 13 years old, 14 years old, 15 years old.
A number of them, yeah.
So the issue and the way to stop it, it's not I'm encouraging them to have sex, it's that I know it is happening and I want to avoid the worst outcome that could truly affect their lives and our family life.
Let me segue a bit.
Serious mistake here, they make Mr. Morrison. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. If you are saying to me right now that children under 16 who needs the consent of parents, that the parents will be allowing them to do things that they shouldn't be doing, but they will make them do it. That is what you are telling me? In other words,
you're telling me I'll let them do it. I'm saying I'm not I'm just providing a protection for them. Mr. Cowley, how do you Mr. Cowley,
the adult, the parents, the provider protection for that means they can't consent.
But what about all the ones that are having kids right now?
You should not be encouraging your children to have sex until then they reach the age. No, and that's why we are failing. We are failing because parents are failing.
Yes.
That's why we are failing.
That is true. That is true. Another question. Let me ask this one because
let
me get something in before we go on with that. These young women that are getting pregnant, many of them are under the age where they can give consent. Can we do something to find who these men are that are impregnating them, and will make a difference if these guys are also underage? Or because I've seen underage boys taken to court for carnal knowledge. That's so right. How do we address that?
You bring up a very good point, and I think Mr. Gregory needs to take note of that. If that child 13
I understand it.
If that child 13 years old and you're 21 and you have sex with her,
you go to jail.
That's not what I'm talking about. He was talking of same age kids, 13 years old.
Even a kid with adults in Belize reach the age of consent at 18. Women are 16. For the Indians, one time the Mayans used to be 13. No, we all have 16 for females, 18 for males. If that 16-year-old male go and have sex with a 13-year-old child, that 16-year-old will be charged for rape and can go to jail.
So why 18? Why did the
look at the reality? Look at the reality of what plays out in the society, rather than give me those statistics and those legalese of what could happen. Yes, those are the laws and the books, but in practicality, nobody's going to send a 13 or 14-year-old young boy to jail for having sex with his 13-year-old girlfriend.
It happened.
They send them to jail? No.
Yes.
I've never heard of it.
I've never heard of it either.
You know what I think you did just now to Mr. Gregory? I want to bring to your notice. You used the word just now, reality. And to me, when a person uses a reality, this is the reality. Of course, it is the reality, but you seem to want to accept the reality. We should not because it's a reality. We should do something about it.
Well, there's nothing you could do about human biology and human behavior other than counsel and sort of give them some guiding principles. But we know harmonially, young people at those age are at their peak of sexual excitement.
They're susceptible.
You are making a serious sociological mistake. You are saying that a human being, the reality is that they have an urge, and that urge must be encouraged or allowed. Not encouraged, but allowed. That's not how you treat human beings.
No, they should be counseled, Joe. When you have a daughter or a son and they reach puberty, and they're in a situation where they can pregnant somebody, you need to talk to them. That's reality.
The urge will be there. That's a reality, the urge. But if the urge is there to steal, if the urge is there to smoke marijuana at 13, you will accept that because of the urge, then it's okay?
No, you go buy bamboo. You go buy bamboo from
Mr. Cowie, 100 years ago, what age were women getting married at?
13.
13, 12.
9.
Okay.
Well, not that young.
Well, I don't know about 9, but they
No,
were
no, no.
getting
There's
married.
there's
They
some
were getting,
religions, yeah.
13,
they were
30.
getting,
The Mayans were 30.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm saying we have to face the reality of how human physiology
Biology.
and biology and behavior is. And there's nothing wrong as a parent, I believe, if we determine that our children are going to be sexually active, to provide the resources for them to ensure that the
Greg,
worst outcome is not realized.
let me ask you a question, Greg. If because smoking weed too is something that a lot of the young people are doing. If you know that your son is smoking weed, will you then go and buy him paper or Fanta or something to smoke it in so that he doesn't have to go in the street and get himself in trouble? That's the kind of rationale that you're working with here, though, don't you think?
No, I don't see Gregory's giving that rationale
That's
at
not,
all. I'm
that's
sorry, I
not,
disagree with you too.
that's not the
I don't
same.
agree with that at
That's
all.
not the same.
If you know that your child is active,
What you do is you talk to your son or your teenage kids the dangers of taking alcohol,
exactly,
tobacco, and drugs. That's what you do.
exactly, exactly,
What the chairman said.
exactly.
No,
That's
that's
what you
not the
do.
same. That's not the same thing.
You just don't say it.
No, I didn't say smoking weed is the same as having sex.
No, what he's saying
I-
to you,
I
that you
understand
are
what he said, and I understand how he's trying to trap. I understand the trap. he's
Yeah,
doing.
yeah, no.
let me repeat the analogy that the chairman
It's
said. And I thought it was
not
like, you know, he trap you indeed. You know why? You gone
Smoking is not a biological urge. Come on, give me
and you
me
said
that.
something which you should have given. You should shift your mental gear before you talk.
Here,
No,
Why?
no, I'm fine.
What the chairman is saying, okay, the boy gone 13 years, then they hang up on the corner and behind school building and whatnot, and then they smoke up weed. And you know they smoke weed. In your opinion, you believe, listen, son, we don't want to smoke weed, all right, come.
This is a good thing. Try this thing instead.
That's what you said, Gregory.
I don't get that from what Gregory
No,
said.
that's not the same.
You can get that, but I'll take out the plug out of your ears.
Yeah.
But no, really. It's at the end of the day, I think that we really have to do more to educate our young people. They know that I'm tired of seeing these little girls with baby pan and hip. You ever see them walk with a baby pan and hip? Small girl, and for then a baby, we need to educate them and let them know the responsibility that they're taking on when they go out there and have sex. Now, I don't know if the way to go is to encourage them to use contraceptives or make contraceptives available to them. I really don't think that's the way to go. I think education, counseling, proper guidance, that I think is the way to go. And that's my
You know, they had a program in the United States for drug users where they were giving them needles because
correct. They were using dirty needles and correct.
Infected. And the program was never about encouraging drug
No, but you're
users.
talking about adults. They weren't giving any.
No, but I'm saying the program, the philosophy.
Yeah, correct. Correct. Yeah,
was never about encouraging drug use. It's about preventing the transmission of serious illnesses and viruses that was contracted from the sharing of needles.
Well, maybe that part of the education for the young girls too is that you need to understand that there are also some very serious diseases out there that you can contract in having sex, and maybe if you're gonna have sex, contraceptives is not the way. Well, not certainly not the medication is not the way to go. Maybe the condoms are a safer way, you know.
Yeah, I'm out of touch. In this day and age, in my days, we weren't taught about drugs and we weren't taught about alcohol and all that stuff and sex and so on, and that was left up to your parents. But today in our schools in Belize, is there sexual education? Is there a course every week to enlighten teenagers about sex and all of that, or is it something that we don't touch? Or the dangers of alcohol, the dangers of marijuana, the dangers of drugs and tobacco and so on? Are they classes? Is it part of the curriculum to educate our youth? I don't know.
Now, one good thing to look at the curriculum indeed, because what are they? Do we teach them about the Constitution, which is very important? About
Yes,
the,
I
is there,
believe in that. Yeah.
do we see any civics in our class anymore? So I don't know what they're really teaching these children. I know they know who the Jesus and who the Mother Mary and all of that. That they are talking to a bunch of the kids and they knew everything about that, the religion. But everything else, they seem to be kind of vague and not even.
Well, you have to remember we
You
have
know what you know what I was when what my friends told me when I was a young boy, teenager, and coming into puberty. They say if you want to have sex with a girl, masturbate first, because then if you come again, you know I'm pregnant the gal. That's stupidity. That is stupidity. You see how because we weren't taught in school, we weren't taught about it. My mother was a very shy person. She just told me to go read about it. She never told me anything.
Did you believe that when he told you that?
Did I believe that? I was naive. Well, I was naive to think that it was a possibility because I was stupid. I was naive.
Did you practice it?
When I look back at it, it's a stupid thing. It's stupid. Yes, sir.
Would you support sexual education for children?
Yes.
Good. I support that. Would you support sexual training for children?
No.
When you say training, what do you actually mean by training? How to do it?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know if I would go that far.
No.
But maybe for the guys, you could have somebody instruct them how to use a condom.
I shall have missed tonight. This is too deep for me.
Yeah.
Well, let
The
me
church
show
is
you.
going to come down on us tonight.
No, let me show you something. If you look what is happening in the great United States, the richest country in the world, and listen to the sociologists, the economists and whatnot, outlining now the failure of the United States. And if you listen to Clarence Thomas, that speech he gave at that university in Texas about progressivism, even he might believe to lose it. Let me tell you quickly why. When it comes to the health system, America spends the most in the world per capita, but they get the least results. Japan spends the least per capita, but get the highest longevity in the world. Italia, and he used the war as an example, the billions being spent. He said, look at the amount of people who are living under bridges. Look at the amount of poverty America has. He said, look at the health system. You can access it, but the quality care you don't get. He said, go to the schools. He said, access education, but no critical thinking. You see how they produce PhDs, masters, but they have no recognition for humanity. It is show you that America, if it continue and the path it is going on, will self-destruct, as it is doing. And it is only
that America will self-destruct
by the behavior of a man who has all the characteristics of Hitler. That's the point needs to be made. We have to stop and begin to think seriously that the responsibility is on parents, just as the animals, to look after their young ones. And it needs parents, in most of the statistics shown in the sociological studies, parents who come and both of them with good background, critical thinking, some good spiritual backing, the children tend to come up more in that line.
I see you. I didn't miss that jabs that you threw up on Spooner there when you compared his
that's okay.
His president to Hitler. But
no comment. No comment.
I want to share something, and something that you said, Mr. Cole, I agree with you to some degree. Japan has better health outcome than the United States, but they don't have a better health system than we do. They have better way of taking care of themselves just through their custom of eating and walking and things like that.
They're disciplined.
That provides an aid to their well-being. It's not
respect for elders.
But that's a tricky one, though. That's
Mr. Gregory, allow me to correct you. I will correct you. I must.
Okay.
That one's a tricky one.
You are not talking of a health system that is grounded in secondary and tertiary care. A health system like America spends a lot of money in secondary and tertiary, which to me...
And that's what I was saying. I agree with you with that.
We can finish. That is because of a failure of the health system. The health system must be grounded in the culture of prevention.
Yeah,
and
I agree with
that
you.
comes from lifestyle.
Yes.
So the Japanese will have the longest lifespan in the world out of their culture of prevention.
That's correct. That's what I'm talking
So,
about.
so it's hard to separate the two, though.
But that's not the health
You were saying
system.
something just now as if though America has a better health system. They do not. They have one of the worst health systems in the
No,
world.
no, I'm talking in terms of equipment and technology. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
they
talking
have
about.
the best. Yeah.
I am not talking about. I agree. I can see.
Yeah, but Mr. Gregory, you cannot evaluate a health system and the amount of CAT scans machine. That is a backward way of.
Well,
the more easy.
No,
You're misunderstanding, Gregory.
No. I don't misunderstand.
No, you're misunderstanding me. Because
America, when it comes to imaging equipment for secondary and tertiary, it has the most in the world. That is a result of failure. Because America has
I agree.
Yes, it's a result of failure. Because you need it because of the secondary and tertiary intervention, which should not have been so many. You have to cut your secondary and tertiary, cut out your non-communicable disease. America is spend more because it is causing more harm in the second. More people are going up in the secondary and tertiary.
There's a lot of money. There's a lot of money involved in there. Big pharma is clocking it.
That's right. You know where the big money there in health? That's a corruption of it. It is in the secondary and tertiary. Yeah. That's why they want to create more unhealthy people so they can make money off of them. But if you put your no, it's a fact.
Sometimes medication on the gill. Yeah,
that's right. If you look at the American health system, it's one of the worst in the world.
Yeah, but Greg is not talking about the health system. He's talking about the technology.
I'm talking about
technology is part of your health system.
You know that America, I just checked it out for you guys. You know, I'm the AI guy. United States is widely regarded as having the best medical technology, followed closely by Germany, Japan, and Switzerland. Yes. The United States is at the forefront of medical technology and innovation. It is home to some of the world's leading hospitals and research institutions, such as Mayo Clinic, Johns Hopkins, and the Cleveland Clinic. The U.S. excels in various fields.
Nobody deny that.
How does Cuba fit in that list?
What AI is saying is true. What AI is saying is true. Yeah, but Mr. Puna, what AI is saying is true. It is saying that America, when it comes to technology, it leads the world. It leads the world because they are involved in secondary and tertiary interventions. That's where they make money.
Yeah.
But Judges and me are not arguing against the technology. We're saying we're not saying that it has the best health care. It doesn't. We're saying that where would you go in the world if something very tragic happened to you? Where would you go? America. A lot of your PUP ministers go to America.
I am saying to you
for medical attention.
I am saying to you, Mr. Spooner, if I have a need for secondary and tertiary intervention, evidently I will go to maybe Dr. Baker Place, Texas, where they do the first heart transplant. And I'm not disputing that. What I'm saying, yes, but what I'm saying to you, that is not how you evaluate a health system. A health system is evaluated and the least amount of secondary and tertiary intervention, not the most.
Okay.
All right.
I'll take that, but that I view as health care rather than
So
then for me was the technology.
No, that's not health care, Mr. Gregerson. That's a hospital.
No, I said that's how I would view it. If you had asked me, if you had said Japan had a better healthcare system, then I would have said okay, because their people don't get as sick as us because of lifestyle. I mentioned that.
That's what I mentioned.
I thought that's what he said. Yeah.
I mentioned that, but I said in terms of technology, because the way you presented it, like Japan had the technology when you said
no. I never did.
The best. No, you said they had the best healthcare system. Yes, I'm telling you how I parsed it out. How I parsed it out was that they had a better healthcare.
But Greg, how do you assess their level of technology? Because you don't know, and they're not bad as far as that is concerned.
No, they're not bad. They were like number 4 after Germany.
And again, I asked Spooner about Cuba, because Cuba has an excellent health care also. And they turn out a lot of good doctors.
Yeah, they may not have the best health technology, but they
Oh,
do
yeah, the technology, the money, and so. But they also,
They
I was
have a very good
surprised.
healthcare system.
I got treatment in Cuba, and the facilities weren't bad at all. I mean, they rank above, in my opinion, along with, and I went to Mexico, and I went to Cayman. But I think Cuba ranks with those places, even with their
Cuba never solved your problem. Cuba never solved your problem. You still get hurt.
How you know that?
Because I see it.
No, you don't see no. You have to feel
I
me.
see it in you.
Mr. Spooner, and Mr.
Yes, sir.
Let me say something.
He's
was
an asshole. Go ahead, sorry.
Who's an asshole? Me?
I was at a meeting in Mexico City. In Mexico City at the World Health Organization. The session that was being chaired by the Surgeon General of the United States. In that session, the Cuban made a presentation on their health system. When the session finished and the Surgeon General summing up, you know what he said? He said we should take a page out of the Cuban health system. He said it's one of the best in the world. That's
and that's the Surgeon General of the United States speaking.
And I was there when he said.
All right,
Yeah,
take
that. They definitely have a very compassionate.
Oh yeah, compassion. Yeah,
healthcare system
in that regard, and they look after their people.
Yes.
They're not as good as the Israelis who have free healthcare and free education and all of that without having to spend no money for it. I can tell you that.
Pays for it.
Let's go. Yeah, that's right. Now let's move on, people. We want to go to this down south. They kick up dust down there again. The alcalde. Well, and Joe, I think you could help us with this. What are the reason behind keeping an alcalde system in place? How does it differ from the village council? But you have a chairman, you have alcalde, second alcalde. Isn't there some redundancy in all of that?
I would say they tend to overlap, but they're different. The alcalde system continued because the alcalde was more in the enforcement of laws and behaviors. That's what they were. They were like the.
So they have no police force then? They don't need police.
It's not like the police department. No,
Sir?
The village council now is not engaged in that. They are more engaged in the areas of how to develop community, buildings, assets, and whatnot. And that's the difference. To me, quite frankly, I believe that the alcalde system is outdated.
Yeah.
Because we're supposed to have one constitution, one rule of law, and it seems that we were balkanizing. That is why I think why I support the United Nations Convention on Indigenous. I think it was not relevant for Belize. Communal land is a waste of time in this country, but that's it. But I think the reason why I differ with the alcalde to me and is a contradiction.
Yeah, but
could I add something?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. To me, the alcalde is a cultural system of the Mayans. And actually, I believe the alcalde system was introduced first by the British. It was the British that introduced the alcalde system to the Mayans. I believe I read that somewhere. And there's
Yeah, well, you're right.
Yeah, and I don't see anything wrong in maintaining that system and that culture for them, because like Mr. Coy said, it deals with the local. If there's a little dispute between some family members and stuff on the I call it reservation, but on the communal land or in the community, they go and they dispel it and they resolve it in a family way more than a legal structured court manner that keep the harmony of the community. So I don't have a problem in maintaining that system. What I'm not quite sure though is that when we drift back from that and we move into this communal land rights and these claims that will, like Mr. Coy said, create balkanization. That is part of what concerns me. And I go way back and believe that Justice Contek was so wrong. He was so contextually wrong when he made that ruling in the courts, creating this idea of, or accepting this idea of communal land to the degree that he did. And I see a lot of fault in both of our governments from time to time in not trying to resolve this much earlier. I think 30 years have gone by now since that ruling was made, and no real hard attempt has been made at resolving it. And I know it's a difficult situation to resolve because each year they're climbing for more and more people coming over from Guatemala and creating that larger community.
Well,
and they're demanding more and more.
A big part of the problem, but you use the word, and you backed up on it, but you use the word reservation. And I'm wondering if these people aren't trying to box themselves onto a reservation, which is ridiculous. I think that as far back as you can go, this whole foolishness about women there so long, when nobody knows the real DNA and makeup of anybody unless we go through the whole scientific test and whatnot. I think that everybody that's born in a country owns that country, and that country owns them. And that they have every right, like every other person there, no care how long for you, grandma, anybody can, all of us seems to have come from somewhere else. So I think it's totally ridiculous that we, even with that, and with the beg for trouble, we're opening a can of worms that I don't know that we can handle too easily.
Yeah.
I
don't think that it is easily solved, and I don't think it will be solved.
I don't see how it can be solved.
Yeah, I don't think that's what I said. I don't see it could be solved. Like you, and without bloodshed, because
and that's what it's going to come down to. I remember the time when this boy Miles was down there and they tied him up.
Yes.
And it was a big uproar about it. I was totally on the sides of the Mayans with that, because he did go on a sacred mount, and I believe that we have to, things like that we can preserve. But you can't preserve one way of life when everybody else in the nation is evolving to what's supposed to be a better way of living for everybody and all inclusive. I don't see this boxing off in a corner. I don't see it working for the Mennonites. I don't see it working for the Garunagu. I don't see it working for the Maya, not the Creole. And we might be the only ones that aren't thinking about drying off in our corner there. I think all of us have to understand we're Belizeans, and we have to become it, or every ounce of being to Belize and making sure we move forward. I go ahead.
I want to say the backup on something you said about the sacred mound. I don't know that could be, every part of this earth somewhere is sacred. There's a fallen person beneath our foot everywhere we go.
Oh, so, that's the trivializing.
No, it's not trivializing it, because we're looking at something that happened 2,000 years ago.
But there are monuments. There are monuments. You want somebody to go.
It was just some dirt that he went and he leveled it so he could put another room on his house.
Well, listen, we got one situation right now in Kikaka where they think about selling the land where the police station upon, and the villagers are up and on. Would that be okay? Because I just want a regular piece of land, if that's how we look at it. I mean,
I don't have if the police station is not there anymore and there's no need for it to serve as that common community space, then there's no problem. There's nothing wrong in selling it. I mean, go ahead.
I think what's going on there is that police property is prime land. It's on the seafront, if I'm not mistaken. And so it's a money-making deal for somebody, that whoever they're going to transfer it to.
But see, it's not because it's a police. They're having a different reason for not selling it, because they feel like somebody's going to get a sweetheart deal and the community is not going to benefit.
But look at Zon Antonich. Would you say somebody should go up there and maybe build a hotel? After all, it's just a piece of thousands of years old. That just somebody buried under there, and everywhere in the world there's somebody buried under the ground. Aren't there monuments?
No, I wasn't taking it. No, that's a structure, and that's an evident architectural.
All right, but this mound was a structure. It wasn't. This wasn't like he just leveled off some earth. He went up on a hill that was recognized already. as a national.
Well, then he
monument.
didn't have the proper sensitivity to the community, and somebody should have told him that.
Well, correct. So that basically what happened. They only told him so in no uncertain terms, no? And they weren't.
Yeah. And if you want to live with the people, you have to respect them and be part of the community. To just do that.
Now let's talk about the Mayan land rights case, because it went to the court. Did the court give them a ruling, or did the court send it back down to the lower court and say, come up with something that could work?
It went to the it went to the Caribbean Court of Justice.
Was there a ruling?
No, there wasn't a ruling.
Okay.
But they did tell the government of Belize that they need to go and work out a solution, because the government withdraw and didn't go into like, let's have a trial. The government was dead. Yeah, the government sort of said, we could resolve this. We don't need the court's ruling. But then I believe the court says, okay, go back and resolve it, and then present your final.
So the court did not say you have to give these people communal rights.
Well, I think the government sort of agreed that we'll give them communal rights in the way, because that was the case that was before them. But how you come up with that communal rights and what areas and such is where the issue is. I don't think the government dispute that they want to give some land for the use for their customary practices, but they are making demands that from my understanding, would consume more than half of PG and some of Stan Creek district.
And do they really want this to continue, some kind of communal living that they had, or do they want to plant like they used to plant, put milpas or whatnot, or do they just want the land?
This is the land grab. This is a
land grab. So how are we going to fix that? How are we going to address that?
That's the parliamentarian.
Yeah, but can't we go back to the issue of the Caribbean Court of Justice ruling?
Yes, sir.
I think we missed a part of it. Remember, he went to the Caribbean Court of Justice to appeal against a decision made by the appeal court in Belize. That's why he reached there.
Yes.
And evidently, they were already in favor of the communal land.
Yes.
So they went because they were appealing that decision. But when they got before the Caribbean Court of Justice, they came up with a consent order.
That's
and of course, the two parties gone for the consent order. And they asked the Caribbean Court of Justice to no rule on some other matters which they did, which were subsidiary to the consent order. So all they were to do now was to implement.
Yeah.
And what is facing any government that it will face? How do you implement communal land? How do you implement this? Let me quickly give you my perspective of it. And today I made several attempts to contact the minister who was involved in it, because I needed some questions to be answered. Let's begin in the context of a sovereign independent state which Belize is. Everything in this country is owned by somebody. National assets are owned by the people through the state. Private properties are owned. So you have public and private. That's all you got. Now, in the private properties, we already have laws and precedents set. If you want to buy a piece of land and you want 10 owners to own it, you could have a title for 10 people owning it. You could have that. You could have a legal person like a limited liability company owning a lot of lands, because that's a legal person. The shareholders own the company. They are the natural persons. You have trustees that can own things. Now, I was trying to find out from the minister, where you have communal land, how do you make a determination of ownership?
Yes.
And let's try to follow it through. Collectively, let's assume we have, let's say, for example, 2,000 Mayans in that area there, with the support collective. And the problem is that some they support and some are not, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
So let's say the ones with the support.
But that's another problem, yeah.
And that's a major problem.
Yeah.
So let's say, just for the purpose of getting over the point, let's say there's 1,000 of them where one communal land. What happens? Who has ownership? Who has title? When they die, what happens? Who owns it then? Is it individually, collectively? How you define collective?
Well, the community, I guess that's what they said there, but they can't put their community
Right, you have
in a corner.
the community have got 1,000 people now. They will die.
But Joe, all right, at the land, we have a lot of public land, and particularly in the areas like PG. Can they take an area and find all the Mayans that were born in Belize now, that are Belizean, and give them a piece of land? And if they want land together, then they could give them each a piece of, I say, enough land that they could do. If they prove that they're going to do some farming, then get any piece for the farming, but they can live together if they want to. I don't see a problem with that, but they have to live under the laws of Belize. And again, I get back to the alcalde, which is so dated. They ought to not. It's obsolete. Go ahead and let the village council handle it. Let the police, and do what normal nations do, man.
Yeah, I think that would be workable, but that's not what they want. They want to have land that they are saying
so
customarily used for fishing, for
that's all right.
gathering.
Nobody knows take one and fishing line. Go fishing if you want, but you can't own the land and set this up for we. And even
because our parents, because our grandparents.
Again, not that the whole Israeli thing. Whenever 3,000 years ago, God's supposed to give them a piece of land. Many of them don't believe in a God, but the God give them land. So I'm saying, well, I'm sure God is powerful enough to say, by me giving that. So the Mayans now were here before, we understand that. But are we going to say that the Native Americans should get the U.S. back? The Aztecs should get back Mexico? The Aboriginals should get back Australia? Is that where we're going with this?
Yeah.
But then you make
that's the failure of the ruling by Justice Contact. He took it out of context. That's all I could say.
He didn't take it out of context. Context followed the convention of the United Nations for indigenous.
I don't think he did. That's my opinion. No. I believe that he overstretched.
No. Did you read?
I read his ruling many times. I read it.
Mr. Gregory, his ruling had to be based upon the convention. He did.
I'm saying he took it out of context.
He signed to the convention. It was on the basis.
No, he did not rule that case. If that case had gone to the Privy Council, it would not have been ruled the way it was.
Mr. Norrie. Mr. Gregory.
Yes.
Mr. Gregory, the Chief Justice cannot rule on anything that is not within the law. Convention,
not everybody. No. That's not true.
Mr. Gregory, when Belize,
I understand all that, Mr.
I don't understand it. When Belize sign on to a convention, they have to make enabling legislation to carry it out. Content could not have made that decision without a convention. He had to. That's it.
To me, from the ruling that I saw, it is out of context and it does not apply. Let me finish for a minute. It did not apply to the structure of Belize. It does not even define itself in Belize. This is like if people were mistreated in another country and they need to get their own self and area to separate themselves from this majority that was abusing them and doing all sorts of manner.
Gregory, that had nothing to do with the convention.
No, I'm saying that's how the ruling applies, because we cannot apply, Mr. Cody. We cannot apply.
How can a judge make a ruling which is not within the law?
Well, he did. We cannot. How can we implement this? How can this?
Hold on. The implementation is challenging. That is
excuse me.
That is different. Content
you're going to lime spoon.
Go and look it up. Take spoon out.
You're lime spoon.
Content could not have made a decision unless he made it and within a law. We subscribe, we sign up and ratify the convention.
I understand all that, and that means nothing to the point of what I understand all that, Mr. Cowie, with due
And when they
respect.
appeal it, it gone right up. And when when the government challenged it, they still believe.
It went to the Belize.
No, the appeal court supported the claim under the convention. Conte did it. The Supreme Court support Conte. Then they decided and went now to the Caribbean Court of Justice. The government was challenging it. When they got there, before the hearing, they came up with a consent order. So the government agreed. So the two parties agreed. Now that the implementation. So the argument is not whether Conte was right or wrong. Conte was.
He was wrong. I think.
No, you are saying wrong, and the court proved right.
Because that type of parsing of land does not apply to the culture of Belize. It did not match our culture. It did not match any grievance that let me finish. Any grievance that these people had.
You are totally outside the ruling. That has nothing to do with the ruling. It has nothing to do with the massacre. This one is being suppressed. That has nothing to do with the decision.
That's how you get these type of separation orders.
Oh, Mr. Gregory,
yes, man. Yes.
I am absolutely sure what I'm telling you.
And I'm positive of what I'm saying to you.
No, what you are saying is wrong. It has nothing to do with who being oppressed, who been taken advantage of.
I'm saying a ruling like that is generally based
under the convention, the United Nations Convention on Indigenous People. It happens all over the world. Brazil get it. Many countries got it.
Some countries got it. Why don't they go and get it in Guatemala? Why don't they go and get it in Guatemala? That's where they came from. That's where they came from.
All right. Was there any application for it in Guatemala? Was there any?
No, because they get murdered every time they try and present that.
No, one country, the indigenous people don't have to make the application. If they are satisfied with the way they are living, they don't make it. In Belize, they decided to do it.
Yeah, but Joe, you have to look on this from two sides. What they want, what they decided, and what the country wants, and the country is governed by a parliament. So we need to look at also what's in the best interest of Belize. I think from what I'm hearing, Gregory is saying that when Conte made that ruling, he did not take into consideration our particular set of circumstances and how we live as a people and our size of country. That you can't because it is the balkanization to which you referred, don't you think?
Mr. Chairman, I personally believe that we should not even sign to the convention.
Okay.
The fact that we signed to the International Convention on the Laws of the Sea.
Mm-hmm.
No. When the International Court of Justice makes a decision, and let's say everything goes in the favor of Belize, one thing we have to accept, that they have to conform with the international laws of the sea. And that is when we have to give up a part of what we got. It's not because, hold on. It will not be because of any claim by Guatemala. It's because we were to remedy it under the international law of the sea, and we tried to do it through that law that we had passed to encourage the then president to support it. I am saying to you that Conte could not have ruled on something that was not within the laws. You cannot you cannot contract outside a law.
I'm saying he stretched it. He could have ruled differently, Mr. Cowie. He could have ruled differently. His ruling could have been quite different.
The law.
No.
It is not for Conte the judge. It is not for the... Well, why is it that if Conte... Let's say Conte should have ruled differently. All right. And the other side agreed by the decision and decided it went to the appeal court. And then it went to the Caribbean Court of Justice. The issue is what happened at the Caribbean Court of Justice. It's no longer about Conte and the appeal.
I agree. I'm just saying that we are in this situation.
If Conte had ruled differently and the other party decided to go, at the end of the day, it's what was decided at the Caribbean Court of Justice, Mr. Agoro.
That's not what was decided. That was what was agreed to, that the government agreed to look at the matter.
Mr. Gregory, you cannot be blaming Conte for nothing. You cannot be blaming the appeal.
Yes, because I can blame Conte because he set it in motion.
You have a total misunderstanding.
Joe. Can a judge misinterpret the law?
Of
Can a
course,
judge look at it?
And there he goes.
I
That's
am
where he did.
yeah, but the might Mr. Gregory is missing. Let me explain again one more time. You follow the facts and you follow the law. That's what you have to do in law in every country. No,
He didn't follow the law as it
country
relates
made
to
a
the
decision. He made a decision. The government was aggrieved by the decision, so they appealed like anybody can.
Yes.
They went to the appeal court. The appeal court upheld contest decision. Well, let's call it the Supreme Court decision.
Yes.
The government still felt aggrieved, and they decided to go to the Caribbean Court of Justice.
Yes.
When he got there, before they could have had a hearing on the substantive matter, they agreed that they agreed to a consent order. When the consent order was done on the substantive matter, the Caribbean Court of Justice, all it did was to uphold it. Once they agreed to the consent order, in itself, it was not good. Hold on, I can finish.
Yes.
It was not good. But when the Caribbean Court of Justice put the imprimatum on it, and then he made some other decisions apart from that, in the same decision they made. So, what happened to be? What next to be done? It was to implement. The two parties agreed. No, the implementation. The implementation is where the problem is. My opinion in it is that it will be difficult to implement.
Well, almost impossible. I think difficult on my word.
Well,
I don't know how they're gonna do it. Again, I think the only way that get all of them want to leave it a land in a certain area, and you know, call that communal if you want, but when they pay on the taxes and on abide by the laws of the country. This preferential treatment.
That's how I think we need to do it. Something like along that line.
We can't give nobody preferential treatment like that, man.
Yeah, man, Mr. Gregory, again.
No, because Mr. Corey, even you said there's no definition you could come up with how to function communal land. It doesn't
Chairman, right now, I can finish. Please allow me to. The government cannot make a decision contrary to the decision that was made at the Caribbean Court of Justice. No.
Hold on a second. I am here now watching television every day and see decisions made by the highest court in the world, the United Nations Court of Justice, the World Court. I see decisions made and they are not abiding by those decisions. Don't tell me that the government can't do something in the best interest of their people. I don't see that.
I give up. You know why I give up? Because that don't make any sense. Let me tell you why. When it comes to international laws, it is different from national laws. In national laws, the state can enforce.
All right.
Hold on. When it comes to international laws, it needs the big powers to support it.
All right.
The Security Council. That is different.
So what laws are we looking at now?
To you, the government has to find a way to implement that
national laws. Those are national laws, right?
No.
Yes.
It's to implement. It's to implement the decision of the court based on our laws. That's what they must do. No.
Yeah.
What the government can do, and I would support it, I think they should find a way to induce them. And when I say induce, just find a way to get away from the communal land approach and make we begin. But that is not.
That's what the chairman is talking about.
No, man, that is different.
Yes, he's saying giving individual personal land. That's what he's saying. No, that's what he's saying, Mr. Cowie.
No, what I'm saying to you, no, the government cannot impose it. He cannot.
No, it cannot
well, induce them then. Induce them, like you said. Use the word induce.
Yeah, he cannot impose it.
Hold on. Where I say?
Induce them to do it.
That's right.
Yeah, and I agree.
What I'm saying to you, the government should make the effort now to steer them away. In other words, they'll give some time to it.
Is there anybody working on this right now? Is there a committee?
Yes, and I was calling the minister this evening to find out about some issues with it, the problem that face them. And I am saying to you that one of the things that the government...
Joe, is there a committee working on this?
Yes, and the government has ever since. They have a minister in charge of it. They have a committee on it. They have been trying.
From the time Minister Balderramas put her foot in her mouth on it, they have took it away from her.
I speak to you as my experience in public life.
Minister of Indigenous Affairs, I think they call
when you reach a point where many attempts, which is good, try everything, and you realize that you have one deadlock. You cannot move. This is when now you're trying to find an alternative to try to, I say induce, you could use another word to encourage.
Yeah.
Let's call it moral suasion. I want to call it moral suasion.
Moral
Try
suasion.
moral suasion to show them where this thing could be a problem to all of we. Next year we could sit around the table and no, we want to allocate to each one of our own land. And our land will be allocated within the same community.
Yes.
And we could have the same thing like every other village got. We own their own land but have a village council.
Yeah.
And that is an attempt that maybe the time is now. You give it that time to try. You just can't do it from the beginning. You are tried. Yeah. And the thing about it, when you find, and this is where I'm saying the Caribbean Court of Justice, one of the things now is that, and I'm asking them about it, if after a while you find that you cannot implement and you cannot rule moral suasion, I am asking a lawyer, can it go back to the Caribbean Court of Justice? But I'm not sure that that's a law. But the point I'm making, I think the government now is at the right time because he's getting into a deadlock. The government has made many attempts. One of the attempts, then gone first, then take a village, then take the center of the village, then give one distance from the center. And that gone right or wrong, and they say, all right, this one be for that village. They turn around and say, no, that's too small. Everything you do, they have one difference over. So they have a problem. Then you got the others.
Well, we got a problem. It's the tail wagging the dog then.
Yeah, now you have another problem because one of them, no, take it by your own. That he begin to get tight with the
Jeremy, 1 second, Jeremy. Put your finger upon our mute button and mute that mic for me when you're cause we shouldn't subject us all the way to that. Man, I understand you're sick and I'm sorry, I hope you feel better. But when you cough like that, mute that from me, you know?
Okay.
All right. Now let's move on, guys, because we got enough of that right there, please. Bus issues. The bus issue continues to be a problem. The national bus companies seem to me to be a good idea if they're improving the services being provided to the people. And those people who decide, now we don't want to be no part of that, we can influence. Now it's not fair for them to be crying that things tough for them out there, and the ones there inside get a better deal. How are we going to solve that problem?
I think that what they were asking the government for is because of the cost of diesel, to remove the tax from the diesel or some percentage of it. So there's nothing wrong with that people could advocate to their government for some type of relief in this extreme situation, because the government does in fact set the price of what tickets or bus tickets or bus service could charge for passenger for the different runs. So I don't see a problem with that. I do believe that the people that are part of the system are protected in some ways by having the backing of the government, and they may not need as much of a subsidy as the others. But I do believe also that we do need better bus services. We do need to have discipline on the road. I have seen so many cases of where they're racing along to try and get to the stop ahead of the next bus, creating extreme hazard for people on the bus and the people on the road that are driving. So something needed to be done, and I don't have a problem with the establishment of the bus company. I just hope that the government will, in its part, run it in an efficient way, and also make sure that it is accountable to the people and that we have proper management of it. That's how I stand on that.
Well, certainly we needed improvement in the buses, because then dilapidated school buses, when they run, where you can't put your foot in between, it's crazy. So we're stepping up, and yes, this I think, but that evolution, we're evolving to a better way of life. And we can't have people then, because of selfish needs of their own, when object to it and want to hold back everything because it's not benefiting their own personal progress. I think that at some point, we look at the bottom line. Are the commuters getting from point A to point B is there a good schedule? Is it serving the people in as good or better a way than was being served before? And I don't see anything else we have to worry about there. Is there?
I would ask both of you that it seems to me that both was saying that it's a good idea in what they are doing. What is it that is a good idea that they are doing?
That's
Well,
improving the service.
Yeah, I think that's it. I believe that we do need better bus services in any way. Both the physical. Wait. Both
That's not the question I'm asking.
Uh-huh.
You said, what do we need improvement on?
No, I am saying, I agree. We have
Why do we think it's a good idea?
You said to me, look like the structure that they are using. That's what I got up.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
Yes.
But why do you think it's a good idea? What's the structure they are using?
Okay. The first structure is that they're harmonizing and creating the problem of the financing so that it will be a chip or a card or something, a ticket before you could board a bus, so that you don't have people first thing pocketing the money that should be going to the revenue to the actual bus operators.
Yeah, but
It seems like the drive. It seems no. That's a big part of it. That's a big part.
That's not what I'm
No,
asking.
you asked me a better idea.
You are talking about the process.
Yes.
I thought you were talking about the structure, the economic structure. It seems to me.
No, I agree with the economic structure that it's centralized, that it be centralized, and that they will then share the revenue, and that they will bring new buses into the program, and that they will structure it so that we don't have this chaos on the road. That's what I'm talking about.
Mr. Gregory, we don't got much time left.
Okay.
Are you saying to me that we are creating a monopoly? Is that what you're talking? The good idea is to have a monopoly?
That could be a part.
No, that's not a monopoly. The bus operators will be under. To me, it's like a cooperative. The bus operators will be running their own individual buses and have their own individual stake.
But within a structure, Greg.
Within a structure, yes.
Yeah, but
what is the structure?
Yeah, that kind of like a monopoly.
The structure.
The monopoly.
But they have the other.
I must agree.
Not everybody join.
Yes,
Mr. Cowie.
Everybody is to come in, and then what?
Not everybody. 13 operators are aside from it.
They're holding out.
No, listen to me. What was it that the government had in mind? Was it to create a monopoly?
I don't think that was what they had.
That is exactly what I understand it to be. And how they want to do the monopoly? You have your boss. They will do a valuation and your assets, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then you will get shares in the company for that.
Yes.
That's what they come in, forming this company with a monopoly. No, if some decide not to go in,
yes,
what happens?
They operate their bus. They're not part of that cooperative. But they can still continue to operate their bus.
It's not a cooperative, it's a limited liability company. But it don't matter. No, I am asking you this. If some do not come in, to whom will the Ministry of Transport give the permits for the runs? Will they have...
the people that had their permits need to maintain their permits. They're not going to take away those permits.
Therefore, those who have their permits and they stay outside the monopoly, right? Mm-hmm. Those people will continue to run that road. You agree? Yes. So it is. No.
Yes.
What is the incentive that they need? Who is asking for the incentive to subsidize the cost of fuel? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, they were asking. Yeah, they were. The incentive is because of the.
Is it the company or the individual?
The individual operators. The individual operators.
So if you give the individual operators a special concession, what you give to those in the company?
Well, I believe that they will have whatever advantages if the government give it to the separate independent operators. I think it will also give them to the people that are part of that limited liability company. But I'm saying there's nothing wrong in them advocating to their government to help them in these trying times where fuel price is $15 for diesel.
Mr. Gregory, I totally disagree with you.
Why?
I would never do that. Let me tell you why.
What would you never do?
I would not do what you are asking to do. You know why?
Why?
The government should do. You cannot select one sector of the economy, the transportation, and give them special conditions of fuel. No. All the other sectors are facing the same challenges.
Okay,
Yes, the
but
government,
the other sectors, Mr. Cowie, are not faced with a price limit on the charge of tickets. They could raise their prices as they choose. If you are operating a shipping,
it is a very good point you're making, but let me explain that to you. The bus company, fares in Belize is under the regulation of supplies control, just like goods. There are certain goods that under the Supplies Control Act. So the government set the price. They can't sell for more than that.
yes,
Now, the government is yet setting the cost of the price for buses, for transportation.
yes,
That does not in any way mean that the government should consider giving them because of that. When the government does that, they have to take into account the cost, forget the price. No, what the government should be doing, which they have been called upon to do, the imports, you have the ad valorem and you have specific. Now, when you have about 4 different taxes charged, custom duty, GST, environmental, and another one, 4 of them. Now, when you have ad valorem taxes, inflation, imports, the government make more revenue because the value of goods goes up and you
Yes.
get a percentage, right? So it goes up.
yes,
Now, when you use specific duty, we are charged by the gallon. You don't mind where the price go. The argument is being made. The government is bringing in more revenue. You know what's in the benefit from the inflation? So all that they are asking, which makes sense, not for no bus right across the whole country. Let us now begin to look at how we can about 60 or more percent at the pump is taxes. What they are asking to do is to reduce that right across, make everybody benefit.
Joe, you know,
I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that. I'm just saying they have a right to advocate to their government.
I have a problem with, and I'm willing to talk about it because you see that monopoly when they try to set up.
all right, but Joe, I was going to ask you that, Joe, because you're not a fan of monopolies, are you?
No, I didn't say that. No.
Well, because you suggested you use it as like it's a bad word.
No, I did not. I'm saying to you, I'm talking now from an economic perspective, which I can speak on authoritatively. Every economy, small economies, will have market failures because of the smallness. They will have. When you have market failures, the state can remedy for market failures. Now, let's take, and I used the example already, let's take electricity. The transmission and distribution of electricity would make no sense to create competition. It makes no sense. Because you can't get poles all over the country, 2-3 companies they compete. Because of the smallness of the economy. What you can do is you disaggregate and compete for the production of the energy. Then the monopoly can buy to do the transmission and distribution. That is how you would force, because of the smallest, they call it natural monopolies. They are natural. And that is the kind of monopoly you can have. Now, if in the transportation system, we reach a consensus that a monopoly in the transportation system will better serve the country by making the capital more efficient and effective, and everybody happy at the end of the day, then you do it.
So, but that's where we are, isn't it?
Yes, I'm saying to you, what is facing them now is that it's the moral switch, and come right in again when we talk about the ones that we decide to steal. They cannot be treated any better or less than the ones we're gone in.
Well, you're right, because it seems to me that's what they're asking for, some kind of preferential treatment, because it's hard on them, and the ones that are in, because they're cooperating with one another, they're not feeling it. So
what I'm arguing about, there should be no preferential treatment. The treatment should be right across the board. Energy is the number one, the greatest contribution to the economy.
Not only that, I think there should be a standard of the buses. Yeah, that in fact, and if you're gonna provide a service, then you need to provide a good bus to provide that service with.
I don't have a problem with that.
I did not have a problem. I was not advocating for the independent operators. I was just saying that they have a right to go to their government and to ask them if they would consider that. That's all I was saying. It's not that I was.
Well, they say the opposite of it, but I'm
No,
right.
no. I'm saying no. I'm not saying the opposite. I've said the same thing the whole time. I am not saying that that the government should do it. I'm saying they have a right to go to their government and ask for it.
But
Whether the government grant it or not.
But that's for granted, man. That's taken for granted.
That goes without saying, I believe.
No. I did not.
That they have a right to go to the government. Yeah, everybody got a right.
That's all I was saying. That's all I was saying.
Under what democracy as we supposed to have, all of us to make a demand on government to adjust it at the pump because of the inflation, and you are benefiting from the inflation.
Maybe that's why I said that I believe if the government had granted to those operators, it would have also been fair to grant it to its own grouping that it had organized. That's all I was saying.
Somebody have to have.
Mr. Gregory, why I have to object? Because when you use the word right as they do that the government, no, that's inherent.
Jeremy, you got an opinion on that, on the bus thing? What do you think? No, you're still mute. You're still mute though.
You gotta make the man mute.
The man mute. I can't mute now. I don't know if you find the button. There you go.
No, I didn't realize I was coughing. I do have I caught a cold now, and that's the dangers of when you go to clinics and hospitals. If you don't wear your mask, you pick up a lot of germs. They say most germs are at a hospital, and that is very true.
That's where the sick people are.
That's why. That one of the arguments, I get no objection.
Well, as to the bus, I'm pretty much tired of hearing about this bus issue. This has been going on for decades now, and I just think they need to just privatize it and done. So there you
privatize the whole.
Privatize the whole thing. Yeah. But they say everybody got to make money, right? Everybody.
But let me tell you.
It's already privatized. It's not public.
But you talk about Greyhound railways and that kind of thing,
You know
what? It's privatized in the sense that that you have different people. I think you just bring it all under one. I don't believe in this monopolization of buses.
Monopoly. You don't believe in the monopoly. That's what I mean.
I would think a national bus system that would not play no problem.
No, because
like in England with British Rail and with their buses and so on, it's not privatized. It's all under the government.
Yeah, the reason I see we have a lot of major issues with the buses. The quality of the buses are not good.
Right.
The behavior of the drivers because they want to capture income. Because they want to capture income is not good. We don't have proper infrastructure for the people that are waiting for the bus. We don't have organized schedules. We don't have a management way of ensuring timely response to stops and stuff, and showing up on a regular schedule. It is haphazard. So ownership, I don't know if is the only way, but that's how the government viewed it, that ownership is the way to control it.
One week
since it's been taken over by Chester, has it improved? Not really, has it?
No, it's hard to improve this.
And I come in there again one more time and I'll finish.
You
see the issue again about the application and the enforcement of law. The things that Mr. Gregory talk about, we should have been enforcing the law. You should not give permit to a bus that has not been a certain minimum standard to be on the road.
Yeah, but we got in knee-jerk reaction every now and again and stop one bus and take off some people, but they really not go nowhere.
At the time of the permit, just like a vehicle, you don't give a vehicle permit that is not roadworthy.
Right.
But what do they do? Again, not want to enforce laws like we did now with the prescribed drugs. Now we have to go do it.
There's an area where we have to look at an area one of these weeks. Service providers, the people, and you're talking about the bus drivers and the conductors that are rude. You got the restaurants and you meet waitresses that are rude. People who provide service on a whole, terrible. I'm going to talk and leave it also about that. Thing with a police
and customers at restaurants that like to chat up the waitresses, not true, Joe? Well, look here. the bosses are threatening to industrial strike on Monday, right? Nationwide, right?
Why?
Yeah,
Why?
it look like then the work towards averting that. And let's see. Listen, gentlemen, we're out of time. Anything else? I'm going to cover the one of the police and by the way, the drunk man when I want to get in the truck and the police lift up the tailgate. I don't know if you guys saw that video there. That's third and lead first, but we have to stay that for next week. Another time I'll see how that go.
And I wanted to talk about the alcalde that got missing and then he
kidnapped, yeah,
reappeared.
Right. We're going on with that.
That's what I don't know.
Then kidnapper, then hola.
You think so?
We've
had a couple of kidnappings.
They let her go 3 o'clock the morning.
Yeah, but we had a couple of kidnappings. Remember the lead boy we got missing? And if I find out, then you got Derek Aikman, we got missing one time. The famous.
Yeah, wasn't it what concluded that he kidnapped himself?
Well,
he did that. He organized the kidnapping.
Listen, guys, make we not get in no trouble anymore, right? Thanks, folks. Thanks for showing up, for listening to us, and enduring us for the 2 hours. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. Fellas, see why we're done here.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good night, everybody.
Read the rules, the rules, the rules, the rules. Read the rules, the rules, the rules. Joko Bankan. Read the rules, the rules, the rules, the rules. Read the rules, the rules, the rules. Me hear the man ball when him catch a road. Me hear the man scream, down in a sorrow. Never want to take one in both the roots from Miss Larrow. He could have back up sing off his parrow. The root that he won't keep up. Then we know Talawala, Pala, the Umbre, Sassy, Bella, so summa, Pisabed, and Ginger. I love Scrabble. Fine back and bitter wood. But the main ingredient are the one Miss Larrow invent. And if you see a man back then, it just left Miss Larrow 10. Greedy the rules, the rules, the rules, the rules. Greedy the rules, the rules, the rules. Joko Bankan. Reading the rules, the rules, the rules, the rules. Reading the rules, the rules, the rules. They get a boy to pay with himself back up Bethel. He said he could hear voices coming from hell. One of the voices tell him he snatch up the girl named Gretel. Now he a big bowl of the bally in a one jail cell. The rules that he come keep up. Then we yo, Talawala, Pala, the Umbre, Sassy, Bella, so summa, Pisabed, and Ginger. And love Scrabble, fine back and bitter wood. Sarah sing, and just a touch of sinner. But the main ingredient, and the one Miss Larrow invent. And if you see a man back bent, he just left Miss Larrow 10 to. Greedy the rules, the rules, the rules, the rules. Greedy the rules, the rules, the rules. Joko Bankan. Greedy the rules, the rules, the rules, the rules. Greedy the rules, the rules, the rules. You could have tell them from my own experience. We start out in September 1st, getting ready for the 10th. The feeling that come over me was so intense. Me take off all of my clothes and jumps and wrap back fence. Greedy the rules, the rules, the rules, the rules. Greedy the rules, the rules, the rules. Joko Bankan. Greedy the rules, the rules, the rules, the rules. Greedy the rules, the rules, the rules. Boy, wicked. Oh shit, that's a guitar in the background. You gotta take it, you know, right?